All right, what's going on, coach? Welcome back to the channel. This is probably the longest I've gone without doing a YouTube video in the last 10 years. So I'm shooting this video to kind of just condense some of the results that I've seen over this month. So I'm shooting this video on October 23rd. Everything that I'm about to show you has happened over the last 23 days. Um, So if you're trying to grow your sports coaching business, I hope what I show you inspires you to do things at a higher level. And I hope it can really give you a good sense of where you could be in this industry. And I'm just going to show you this kind of piece by piece. So I'm going to share my screen here. And first thing I want to show is this coach. So he posted inside of our community, said very late audits, catching up from March to September. So I'm not going to go into a ton of depth on this, but I will just show you from March until the end of June. If you look at the total revenue numbers and you calculate all of that, so he did $161,000 in 4 months with his business. So that's within 4 months of this year, not including July, August, September, and what he's doing this month. All right. And I'm showing you that because like on average, that's like 40 grand a month with a private coaching business. Okay. This isn't a coach that has, 10 coaches working for him. I don't even think he owns his own facility. He's just renting out space to run his sessions. But you can see like he's dialed in. He knows exactly how many new members he's gotten, how many people have canceled, right? Total revenue. Most coaches in this industry do not track these numbers. The coaches that I work with, they track these numbers every month. And this is why like we can actually start to see growth in their business, and we can see what the problems are in their business. Because if you got a ton of people canceling, and we don't know why that's happening, then you just are kind of running a random business at this point. You don't really have a strategy that's, something that's built to help you long term. And you can see too, like, as far as like 4 months go, like he's had 6 people cancel, 10 people cancel. That was kind of a bad month for him, but you can still see the revenue still really high that month. And that's out of 4 months. Most coaches in this space are losing 8-10 customers per month on average. Most coaches that are doing numbers like this, like normally 8 to 10, so that's like losing 2 customers per week. And the reason why a lot of coaches lose a lot of customers per week is because they're not getting their customers actually committed. Like they're not selling 3, 6, or 12-month commitments. Most coaches that I work with right now are just selling 6 and 12-month commitments. Some are just only selling 12-month commitments, where it's like they're not dealing with monthly members at this point. They're just dealing with yearly members. All right. So I wanted to show you this outstanding result from a basketball trainer that's in our program. I posted this on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can go there, check it out. The other thing that I want to share here is this. So I just kind of went through his story. So I posted this on Facebook yesterday. So and I'm not going to go through all of this in this video, like not through this whole post, but I'm just going to show you these 4 things right here. So another really cool result I've seen is there's a full-time teacher that I work with. I'm working with him one-on-one right now. He's already surpassed $400,000 in sales this year since January. All right. So since January, he's done that. And I also posted this on my personal Facebook page here, and I posted on Instagram. A couple weeks ago, he sent out 1 email broadcast to his list, and he made $50,000 on 1 email campaign. Now, I try to be as blunt and transparent as possible in these videos, right? It's not like when he sent out that email, he has like 5 people on his list, right? He has a lot of people on his list. And the reason why he made so much money within a short period of time on that email, it's because he has a great program, right? He doesn't run this like half in, half out program. And also he's a full-time teacher. It's not like he has unlimited time during the week. He has very little time during the week to actually to devote to his business. So this should show you, if you're running your business full-time, you have way more time than this guy does. And he's still he's made 400 grand this year, right? But the way he markets his business, the reason why his marketing works really, really well is because he has a hungry audience that wants his program. People want to sign up for his program because they know if they don't, they're going to lose their spot and they're going to go on his waiting list. If they're on his waiting list, they're probably not going to be able to get in. And that's how tight he runs his business. And that's why he made 50 grand in one email, right? Which is unheard of in this industry, right? And I try to be super clear about that. Most people in this industry can't make $50,000 in a year, right? He did that literally within like a 2-day type of thing, right? One email, right? Because again, he has people on his list. They want his program and they're hungry to go get in. Otherwise, they're going to be on the waiting list. All right. So that's one of the other outstanding results I've seen this month is that update. Another coach that I've worked with, he's opening his second facility up in New Jersey. This guy's a soccer trainer. I have done an interview with him on the YouTube channel. You can go and watch that on this channel. And he, in his first facility, had 250 recurring members. So, it would be pretty easy to look him up on YouTube, on our channel, go to his website, and you can do the math on how much revenue that is. I'm not going to say it because we didn't talk about his revenue, but we talked about how many members he has, right? And he's at a point where he's outgrowing that facility. So he's not just going to a new facility, he's going to keep his current facility and have facility number 2, which is amazing, right? And like, coaches cannot do that sort of stuff unless they have a great coaching program. They have a great product that they're selling, right? It's like, why in the world would he go open a second facility if he wasn't at capacity at his first one? It just financially doesn't make sense, right? So great program in place, great clients, loyal clients in his program, and at capacity. So guess what? Opening a second location. And I can see that coach, he's also in his, I believe he's in his late 20s. I mean, he's going to have the city that he's training in just on complete lockdown. And he's in a really competitive city for soccer, like probably one of the most competitive areas that I can think of. Lots of coaches, lots of other big names in business in that area. All right. That's a really cool one. Next one here is there's 10 coaches since the beginning of this month that have been in various programs of mine that hit their first ever 10K months. And we're 3 weeks into the month at the time of shooting this video. So there's still like basically a whole week left in the month for coaches to exceed that number. And I've gotten some questions about this thing here. One of the fastest ways, and I sometimes hate using that word fastest, but there's really no other way to explain it. But one of the ways that we help people do that is by running promotions. And if you haven't watched my YouTube channel, like I have talked about this before, I'm going to explain it even in more depth on number 4 here. But that is something that most coaches in the space don't do. You're not really promoting your business. Not really running a marketing campaign. You're just doing, marketing here and there, and you don't really have a strategy. So I teach coaches how to utilize that strategy. And I'll even show you another example here so you can see this. So this coach here, holy cow, this week has been crazy for me. He posted this 11 hours ago. Haven't had a week or a month this crazy in a few months. And you can see here, like he literally says, ran 2 promotions, right? And he talks about some of the other stuff that he changed and added. But like that should show you like proof right there, right? That running promotions works. Um, and I have a strategy that I've been using. I've been using it with hundreds of coaches, and we're incorporating that strategy now into all the coaches that join my accelerator program will be running their first promotion within 30 days of being in my program. That's going to be launching soon. Ideally, between Black Friday and Christmas is like I'm going to have that set up. All right. Um, so we've had 10 people though that hit their first ever 10K month. And I know the 10K number is something that a lot of coaches want to get to. And what I always try to tell people that want to get there is like, when you get there, it's not going to change your life. Like it shouldn't change your life. It shouldn't be, like, oh, I'm just going to go spend all this money now because I made more money and I'm going to increase my lifestyle and I'm going to be, you know, this Instagram influencer, right? Don't need to change your life when you make more money. But what I always tell people is like, it should show you what's possible when you do it once. And I always look at, there's been some interviews where I've heard Michael Jordan talk about uh, how his favorite championships are the ones that he just won, and he wants to do it again, and he wants to repeat. And same sort of mentality here. It's like once you do that one time, you know, A, it's possible, and B, you know what it takes to get there again. And it's not a lucky thing. It's not this random one-off event. Um, it's something that was calculated and done well, and it can be repeated. So that is why, it's really cool these people did that. But what I care about is doing it again and making that a normal thing. And this is why, like, when I showed you my community a second ago, that coach that did 161K in a 4-month time period, it's like that guy's not lucky, and he's not an alien, right? He's a normal person, works really, really hard, has a great program in place, and cares about his business, right? He takes it really serious. And when you're around people like that, it makes you be curious, and it makes you ask yourself, what is that guy doing different than me? And what are some of the things he is doing that I can be doing in my business to improve? Because if I'm not making 40K per month, there's some sort of gap between what I'm doing, what he's doing. So like I need to do some of the stuff that that guy's doing to grow my business. And that's why I love our program, because like you're around people that push you. It's not just me trying to push you. You're around people that really push you to the next level with your business. And I like working with people. Like I have some of the people that are at the top of this industry that I've worked with over the last 10 years. I also have people that are just starting. I have people that are doing this full time, and people all in between. But when you're around people that are doing bigger things than you are, it's going to normalize those things when you do them, and it's going to help you repeat it because you're around like-minded people that are doing that sort of stuff, right? So that's third thing. That's pretty cool. 10 people in like 23 days. And then the last one, let me scroll down. This is probably my favorite one. All right, and let me move my screen a little bit. But this coach completely retired his wife. So she was working full time. And I remember on my application call with him, he just flat out told me, he was like, look, I want to get my business to a point where my wife has the option to stay at home. So we don't have to pay for daycare, and we don't have to have someone else raise our kids. I want us to do that, but we can't do that financially until I'm making enough money. That's what he told me. Right. And so that was his goal. His goal of growing his business was obviously to help more kids in his area, but he wanted to be at a point financially where his wife did not have to work anymore. Right. That's what they wanted to do. I live that life right now. I'm very thankful and grateful that, my wife doesn't have to work and we can raise our kid however we want to raise our kid. It's an awesome spot to be in. That's what he wanted. And he did it. All right. So, and I'll walk through kind of how he did it. So I said, this coach completely retired his wife this month. She was working full time for years, and they had their kid in daycare. Never again. This has completely changed their family's dynamic forever. And since he's worked with me, he's on average 2x his revenue in his business per month. He didn't start off, doing 2 times, like it took him time. But specifically this year, has averaged 2x the revenue that he was doing last year. And the biggest difference, I'll just be super blunt and transparent. The biggest difference that we have in place right now than what he was doing last year is he runs a monthly promotion. Right? It is not complicated. We run a monthly promotion, and like it's as simple as that. And because he has a contact list and because he has good clients, people are buying these promotions that he's running. And he had one that last month that did an extra 20K in sales on top of his current revenue, right? On top of his current revenue. And I'll tell you what the promotion was. I have nothing to hide. It was buy 1 year, get 1 year free. And most coaches in this industry, when they hear that, they're like, I would never offer that. I would never offer that. But there's things behind that we did that make a lot of sense to run something like that. There's conditions in place for his clients to bring in referrals within a certain period of time for them to get that year free, and everybody had to prepay. Every person prepaid. He sold 5 of those, and his program was 4K the year, right? So made 20 grand. Not complicated, right? But because we run 1 per month, and he's going to be ramping up to doing 2 of those per month coming up, he's able to systematically grow his business. And that's without having to, spend a bunch of money on ads or to be this crazy Instagram influencer and show up in everybody's feed 20 million times per day. His business is not about that. Like, his business is about helping kids, growing his business, and ultimately, providing for his family the way he wants to. All right. So if you're watching this video and you want to connect with me, there's a couple of ways to connect with me. First is go down in the first link in the description. You can watch a video that outlines what I do, how it works, and you can apply it to work with me and set up an introduction call. And on that call, I'm answering your questions you have about my program. I'm asking you questions about your business, and you can sign up on the call. It's pretty easy. The second way of getting in contact with me is either on Instagram, and you can see my Instagram below, or on Facebook. I'm actually really active on Facebook right now. I post a lot of updates like this. I post a lot of different content on there that I don't post on YouTube. And so that's another place to get to me, is just add me on Facebook, and I'll put my link below this video. But you can message me on Instagram. You can message me on Facebook. You can apply for our program. I try to be as helpful as possible to people that are serious. So I only work with people that have experience coaching kids. I don't work with people that are new as far as coaching and training. If you don't know how to coach and train kids, go watch YouTube videos and learn how to do that, and then get back to me. If you already know how to coach and train kids, but you are not going at the level that you need to be at with your business, I'm your guy. I've been doing this longer than everybody else has. Been doing it for the last 10 years. Have more results and case studies than anybody you'll ever find. And that's me saying that as humbly as possible. Right. So that's it for today's video. Hopefully you got some stuff out of this. Hopefully this inspires you to think bigger and do bigger things in this industry and help more kids and grow your business. And if you want to reach out to me, click through the links below, and I'd be happy to chat. See you later.